Hey, awesome friends. I am Awesome Danny. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to talk about a set I hadn't heard of before. Maybe you guys haven't either, but Rose Technics reached out on Twitter. By the way, if you haven't followed me on there, feel free to do so. I post almost every day, just usually like pictures of the gear I'm working on and just a little bit of behind the scenes stuff, some extra sunny content, and usually some really bad memes. Check the description box, my link will be there. But like I was saying, we're gonna go over a set that I didn't know existed until Rose Technics reached out. This is the Star City 5 Pro. What is the Rose Technics Star City 5 Pro? That's a long name. Star City 5 Pro. Why is it called 5 Pro? Is it like a revision of a previous model? I didn't find any info on that. When I brought it up in my Discord server, somebody mentioned that it sounded like a video game title. It's like Star City 5 Pro, now in stores or pre-order now, which you should never do, by the way. Never pre-order video games. It's not like how it used to be. Okay, enough rambling. Let's go ahead and get into the IM itself. So currently it's on sale for like 75 bucks. Yeah, 75.99. Usual MSRP is 119.99, which I haven't seen it at full MSRP ever since I got it. So it might be one of those perma sales kind of thing. I will be mentioning my perspective on MSRP. So we're going to review this as MSRP, and then we'll go ahead and get into that later. So Star City 5 Pro is a 3-driver hybrid set. Each side has 1 dynamic driver and 2 balanced armatures. Maybe it should be Star City 3 Pro, 3 drivers. I don't know. Overall, the unboxing of the set was actually pretty nice. It felt a step above the usual stuff around this price range. So most of the sets I've tried around this price range feel a little less enthusiastic in its approach. Usually it's just stuff in a box. This is stuff in a box plus. It was really nice. Open it up, you're greeted by the IMs and the case. So accessories on this set is pretty good. Like, there's a good amount of them, and they feel like there's a couple of like extra things where you're just like, oh, cool. Like, I didn't know that this was going to be here. Usually you don't get this kind of stuff. It just felt a little bit extra, which is nice. I mean, it's always nice to get more than you expect for your money, no matter what. It's always nice. So in the box, you get the IEMs, you get a really nice case that feels like it's made out of leather. It's actually a pretty sturdy case, so it should offer a good amount of protection for anything that you put in there. There is a cable. It's kind of okay. Like, it's a little stiffer than I like, and it's like the fabric wrapped cables. So like, not only do you have to deal with like the wire itself, but then you have to deal with the fabric wanting it to do its own thing. Like, it's not bad in use. It wasn't. And rolling it up, it was fine. I just prefer it to be a little bit more malleable. The connectors on the cable itself at the end for the connectors that go into the IEM are like a little plastic, kind of low density plastic. They look kind of cheap. Then you get 2 sets of silicone ear tips. It was really weird because one set is like set up in the box. So like when you lift the foam that the IMs are in, there's just a set of silicone ear tips right under it next to the case, like on display, which is nice. But then there's another baggie of ear tips in the case, which I don't know if they just felt like they needed to throw in an extra pair. It's like, we can do it. Why not? Let's toss in another pair. And with those other ear tips, you actually get a USB-C dongle, which was unexpected. I don't think I've had many sets that came with like a USB-C dongle. Like, here you go. If you happen to have a phone without a jack, here you go. The dongle is okay. Like, when you first plug it in, there's a little hiss. You can hear it, like, no matter where the volume is. It's like it's engaging the DAC and the power's coming in. It's like, tss, you hear it, but then it goes away. It would make a good, backup dongle, I guess. I mean, it's just thrown in there with the set, so bonus points still, even though it's okay. All right, so now getting into the build of the shells themselves. So these are small ear approved. I actually fit tested on my wife, and she's like super tiny. She's like 5'2". And most of the time she has a hard time fitting the IEMs that I try out. It's almost comical at how big they are in her ears and in my son's ears. But these are small ear approved. She was able to fit them with no issues. Seems like she got a decent seal and it wasn't uncomfortable. Small ear approved. The shells themselves are a very unique design. They don't look like just any other IM. They look unique. It is a plastic or resin shell because it is kind of light with a metal faceplate, but it's almost like half and half. It's like the metal part like goes in to the plastic housing, and then they overlap a little bit and make the shell. Overall build was good. I had no concerns there. And for the accessories, the same thing. There's little nitpicks here and there, but everything looks like it was made well and it works fine. So no issues at all. So now let's go ahead and get into the sound impressions. So this set is lean. It's pretty lean. If I could describe how it sounded just based off of one comparison, this is basically a upgrade to the original 7Hz Zero. So, you know, the old 7Hz Zero, man, it feels like a hi-fi decade ago. What was it, a year ago at this point? Man. But yeah, basically very lean bass, and it gets a little sparkly, maybe a little bit sibilant to some people, and that's what you got here. So, but overall, I felt like it was an upgrade in the sound quality, similar in the sound tuning. So, quick rundown of the sound. Sub bass is there, like that's it. It's there. When songs call for it, it's there in a very lean approach. So like there's some rumble, some, not much, but there is some. It's there. It's more emphasized in the mid bass. Mid bass is punchy but small, little polite, but it does get the point across. You feel it, you hear it, it's there. And then coming into the mids, there's actually a decent amount of no way here from that mid bass, and overall it balances out, at least in the mids, with the upper mid range gain. So they kind of come off as neutral, but I could see how some people would want more substance here. So for me, they're kind of in between. For most of you guys, I feel like they'd be maybe a little thin or light. And like I mentioned, going into the upper mids, there's a bit of a gain there. So lots of energy, lots of forwardness. Vocals do end up being a little bit, you know, front and center, pushed up ahead of the mix. And then going into treble, mid treble is a little sharp. There is plenty of energy there. It can become sibilant depending on the track, but most of the time, yes, it does have a little bit too much intensity. And then going into the rest of the treble kind of gets toned down a bit. So it's not super airy, shimmery, or sparkly, but that lower treble still comes through pretty sharp. So not bright, but definitely intense. So that's basically it. Just think of this set as an upgrade to 7Hz Zero. So if that's the type of tuning that you enjoy, this is definitely something that you should keep an eye out for, especially if it's on sale, because decent amount of stuff, decent tuning for, you know, that preference, and then on sale for $75, it's okay. Maybe even try to get it used even cheaper. That brings me to the rec rating. Rec rating for me is 1. So this set overall gives you a lot of stuff. Decent value, fun unboxing, pretty good build. But even on sale, there's a lot of stuff that competes with it still. And again, this is going in with like that preference. If you want something that's lean and bright, there's a lot of options. This is just another one of those options. So consider the set if you have small ears and it's difficult for you to fit some of those other options, or if it's something, you know, that's easier for you to get. This is another set to consider. But that's it, team. Make sure that you like and subscribe. I appreciate the support. Until next time, you stay awesome, friends. Bye.